We're going to do a diagonal forward cut today, and it starts off, if you got your procedures handy, look at them as I tell you what steps to go in. First, you're going to shampoo, condition, and remove your tangles. You plus part, and you make an inverted V parting in the nape area, as you see I have done in this area. Inverted means it's like an upside down V in the nape. And then make sure the fingers are parallel to the part line using 0-degree angle projections and cut to desired length. You cut the first guideline across the entire nape, working from center to side. And then after that, we'll go into what comes after that, after I do that. Okay, so I'm going to first cut this area here. And this is just going to look like a diagonal forward, and you're cutting it, bringing it down to one length. Now you have variations of this cut. You have it where it's stacked out at 45 degrees. You have it where it's really tapered in, and then you have it longer in the top. But this is bringing everything down to this weight line. Okay, beginning here. And you see my part line, and we're going to cut down at a diagonal.
On top of the fingers?
I'm cutting this.
You cut on top of the fingers, didn't you? You cut that on
Mm-hmm.
top of the fingers.
Yeah, to get my guide. Now, as you've seen on our videos, they have taken the comb and they've held the comb and cut like this. And if that works good for you, you can do it that way as well. But I just can hold it better. Seems like when I hold it with my fingers.
Yes.
And then I'm going to take my guide, and it says to go where after this? Working from center to side. And so my side is going to be longer. So we're just, this one was already cut pretty short, so I'm just trimming the excess off. Just a little bit of that cut off, because I want the sides to be left long. See, I feel like I got better tension when I hold it like that than I do holding it with a comb. And then you can also freehand it if it's laying there. You've already cut and you just want to make sure you're cleaning it up. Okay, and next it says to drop the next section about a ½ inch and maintain your diagonal partings. Any questions so far? Does it seem pretty clear? You've seen this cut many, lots of times. And huh?
I have that cut.
Yes. And see, your hair is long, and you would definitely do it like this. You just keeping it all hanging down long.
Barely, it don't really look like it. You're going to take it all down. When I pour it right, it's not quite right. No, it is.
But it is a popular cut, and it's one that you will probably do a lot of in the salon.
By the time we get to the salon this morning, it's going to be something else.
Well, if it's a style that you know has been a good trendsetter, a lot of people latch on to something and they'll stay with it for a while. Yeah, there'll be others to come along, but you still need to know how to do this one. Now you see how this hair is already cut in kind of like layers here. So we're going to, let's read what the next section says. Cut even to the guideline and continue to cut hair using diagonal partings. Include the side panels as soon as possible. All right, now you see it's cut diagonally. This here has already been layered. So where this is a little bit different than opposed to the procedure you've got here, we're going to have to come in here with this middle section, and I'm cutting it at a 45. And I'm bringing this section over to the center and cutting it, just trimming that off, because it's just so it will lay like a stacked diagonal bob. That's where this procedure is kind of like the foundation of the diagonal cuts, but you can improvise. In other words, you can change it up a little bit to make it fit the client's needs. If she's wanting it to be more of a stacked look in the back, which you're seeing a lot of girls wearing now, and then bringing this over here to this side as well. Now, this also can be brought, but if it's not long enough to take it over here, see, it's already the length it should be. But if it had been really long, you could have brought it over and also tied it in, and that way when it fell back, it would be longer in the front and shorter in the back with a stacked look. Okay, I'm going to bring my next side, the left side, over to the center at a diagonal 45-degree angle, so it will have that also that stacked appearance. Any questions? And when it falls, you see how it will lay into this side. Here again, I didn't cut that side because it's not long enough to come into the center. I got this mannequin knowing that it's not as long as maybe some people wearing this procedure would cover that particular hair type with long hair, but I wanted you to see, because this is one that is used, I think, more frequently than you see with the longer look. You see this one used a lot. I've seen it used a lot here at school with our students, and plus with the clients that we have coming in. So you're bringing this over to the center, coming out at a 45-degree angle and cutting. So what is the guide? You've got the guide first here. Then you're going up using this hair and bringing it to the center and holding it out at a 45-degree angle and cutting to your guide that you have established. And what that actually does is, when you bring in this hair to the center and cutting it, what does that do? It creates weight and length in this hair as it falls down, because you're giving it fullness here. That's where you want it, but you want it stacked in here, coming out and going into the outside like that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. And have you not seen this hairstyle on a lot of our students? And so I know that you're going to probably be getting this when you get out on the floor, and I want you to be able to say that you... If I get one, I'm going to call you this morning. I'm coming in and get you. But it's it's not that bad. It's just you'll find people that like to change it up a little bit, you know. And then there's some that like to leave it all one length around the front and real long, hanging down on each side of the face. But then you'll have some that wants to have a little height on top and some face framing. So they're not all, they want to put their own kind of like signature on it. They don't want to look maybe like everybody else. And I've seen that happen with a lot of different styles where that they have more or less a combination of different cuts going on. They have maybe like a horizontal layering, long layers, and then they want it face framing and they want it shorter on top. So it's just to be able to know when you need to cut it and when not to, and where you need to put length and weight. Okay, I'm just repeating the same steps, bringing it all to the center to create this weight on the side.
Come on, you ain't supposed to cut past that second knuckle.
Very good.
But everybody does it because everybody on YouTube, they'll watch cutting hair and they cut past the second knuckle.
So
The lady I was watching doing a 90 degree, she kept saying it, do not, but she was doing it every time.
So why do
So
you
it's
not
just
do it?
habit, I guess.
Why do you not do that?
Because she cuts herself.
Right. So do as I say and not as I do. Is that what it said?
I think that's what she meant to say. Do as I say, but not as I'm doing right now.
All right, now around the front area, now it says it cut the entire head using this technique. Then check your cut in front for an even line and then style and clean up. On this client, I'm going to bring her face framing down. I'm going to check her out to see what kind of cut that she has previously had. I'm going to talk to my client. Of course, I would have done this in the beginning before I got started to find out if she wanted to have bangs, face framing, or does she want it all one length and bring it down all one length on the side so she'll just have it heavy all over. Need to do that consultation so you'll know what the plan is. All right, I can already see she's had bangs, so I'm mainly just going to trim this up just a little bit. It's down to right below her nose. So coming up just a little bit, and my cape wants to fall off.
What is that? What degree?
I'm bringing it down at 0 degrees. And then I'm doing a little face framing here, because she already has it, so I'm just blending that. I'm going to leave the sides long, so all I'm doing is just trimming the side that's facing her face. Now you can even go in and point cut, slither it. That kind of makes it a little piecey around the face like I'm doing. That's just a texturizing aid. Okay. And now I'm going to drop down this next section. Now, I need to know from the client, too, in that prior discussion, that consultation, if she wanted it more or less layered on top, if she wanted it where it's going to feather back, or does she want to leave it full and heavy? I'm From the consultation, I'm going to say that the sides she is going to want heavy. Not to say that's what every client will say, but in this instance, I think that will work better with her style to keep it heavy and contoured to the face. On the top, it all depends on if she likes to have height or does she like to wear her hair mostly flat on top. I'm going to just layer this just a little bit, make it have a little texture in it so that it don't look just like one glob of bang. That's what I call it, where it's so heavy that it's not much texture in it, and a little more wispy on the ends. I'm just going in and point cutting the ends. Now, if I want a little lift in here, I can also go in, and that does a little thinning process right in here to lift it off the head. This I use a lot on fine hair. I even use that on my own to give it some lift. Now I'm making vertical subsections coming straight up, and she's left it pretty long here on top, but I'm still going to go in. I'm going to point cut it on the ends so that it has texture in those ends. And it's more like going into it. Now, you probably haven't seen this done. I know you haven't in here on any cut that we've done. But with this style cut like this, I just think it looks better if you have some texture to help the hair to move. And not just lay in one big blah area. It creates movement in the hair. Now I'm going to take this hair that I've just cut now and I'm going to part it down the middle and then walk it all the way around and check it, the corners, make sure that they blend. And I'm going in, like I said, on the ends and point cutting. You can tell it when you start to blow dry the hair that the hair will have more movement to it, I think. And if you feel like she wants some more height up in the top, we'll go back in and texturize that top too. Now this looks like more of a fun cut, don't it? Y'all will enjoy doing this, I think.
Looks like it takes a lot of practice. That's what I'm gonna do.
Is she parting on this morning?
And then she went through that shit and more texturizing.
Okay, now in this crown, so it don't lay flat, I'm going to go in and do some point cutting here. Now I could go in with my thinning shears and thin that area, but this will help this hair to bounce up and give it some lift off of that head so it don't lay flat. But it's just a little bit of strands that you're using. Now, if the hair tends to be thin in certain areas, you definitely don't want to do that. And you don't want to do it in a part line. So you have to pick and choose the areas that you're going to do your thinning texturizing techniques. Okay, any questions?